What is going on YouTube? Hannah back making another brand new Crypto TV episode. In today's video, we are going to be looking at XRP, Ethereum, Bitcoin, as well as the S&P 500. I also have an interesting article in regards to the recession that we are in, having potentially already had. Lots of interesting questions that are arising the past couple of weeks. But what we really need to talk about is the S&P 500. We have officially closed the end of the weekly market. We have officially closed the market, and we have closed the market so much higher than I was expecting that we have now closed above a massive descending fractal, something that has been on us for over a year now. Literally, well, since January 1st, it's been over a year of just correcting downwards from this purple resistance here. And we have officially closed the weekly candle above it. That is huge, and I mean huge news here. There's some very big things that we have to talk about here. And also the rumor that we might have already had the recession and that the recession is over and we are not going to experience one, see one, or enter one anytime soon. That could have been it. We could have already have had the soft landing on these markets here, and it's quite a peculiar thought, but we need to go over this and we need to talk about it because that would implicate and change a lot of things on the S&P 500, cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, Ethereum, the XRP charts. Lots of peculiar things we need to talk about in today's video, and it's definitely a confusing one here because if the recession has officially ended and has already happened and we are not going to, see one, then we could infer that the soft landing was already in and we are now going to continue to move up to the upside here and slowly move ourselves to, out of the resistance here and eventually start to see some new highs. So this is very peculiar and very interesting if you ask me. I'll tell you and explain a little bit more about this later on in today's video. With that all being said, smash the like button, turn on post notifications, subscribe, and let's dive into today's episode. So the first thing we need to talk about is articles that are starting to scour the internet here. I know there's pretty much everybody and their mother is saying and screaming recession here, but you have to take that with a grain of salt. And what I mean by that is consecutively, we had the definition of a recession is 2 consecutive negative GDP quarters, which we already had. Keep that in mind here. Only recently did the government change their policy after, over a century of what exactly a recession is. So they want to change things and get us out of it. Who knows why? Makes it sound better on the media, whatever here. But, I believe we had one, and I believe we've left one now because we've closed third quarter, and I believe even fourth quarter of 2022 or maybe we had second and third quarter were negative. So we closed fourth quarter with positive GDP growth here, which means I think we're out of the recession, personally. And there's some interesting articles floating around that are saying we're not in it. Now, you got to understand the reason why people would scream recession, the reason why everybody on the media would scream recession is because it's a hot topic. If they scream recession is upon us, recession is coming, people are going to be panicked, and they're going to watch the media because they want to know. But here we are saying that might have passed. Honestly, it might have passed. And now we're seeing articles, and I'll show you, that are saying the U.S. will probably stick to a soft landing next year. The world's largest economy is forecast to narrowly avoid a recession as inflation fades and unemployment nudges up slightly. Economists say there's a 35% probability that the U.S. tips into recession over the next year, an estimate that's well below the median of 65% among forecasters in Wall Street. The U.S. may avoid a downturn in part because data of economic activity is nowhere close to recessionary. GDP grew 2.6% in the third quarter, according to the advanced report here. And we did grow, which is interesting here. So U.S. forecast for U.S. growth is well above consensus. So very interesting here. There are strong reasons to expect positive growth is coming in coming quarters, so on and so forth here. Job openings have soared as the labor market's overheated. What the forecast for U.S. inflation is slowly heading down. So there's a lot of interesting things overall. Saying the Federal Reserve isn't likely to turn relatively dovish as inflation abates. Our economists expect inflation-adjusted incomes to recover, which will require the central bank to make sure financial conditions stay tight. They don't expect rate cuts until the end of second quarter of 2024. That's surprising to me. I was thinking rate cuts. No, that's right. I don't expect to see rate cuts. Don't expect to see rate cuts until second quarter of 2024. That again shows how things are different this time. The Fed's median hiking, With the resilient labor, we don't see any rate cuts in 2023. No, I think they're going to continue to raise rates from 2023 currently, the beginning to mid 2023. Then they are going to stop raising rates from mid 2023, I guess, till mid 2024. We're gonna have a year, potentially 6 months to a year, of just kind of sideways floating. We're just, because they've raised them high enough, now we're just going to see what happens over the next couple of months. And then mid or beginning of 2024, they're going to start to taper them down here. And we're going to see some economic easing, and that should lower the interest rates and stuff, and we should see the stock market and crypto move up with it here. So a lot of people are speculating that we could have already had the bottom within the stock market, and I'll explain why that's important in a minute with you. But specifically with XRP and a lot of these cryptos, I'm switching bullish. I've been pretty bullish on XRP ever since we've confirmed closing above major resistance here, but things are lining up to a perfect break to the upside here. And if you're not in it, I don't know what to tell you, but we've bought into this weeks ago here. We were expecting to see it. It was no leverage, but we did buy in with expectations of a run. You can see consistently here how many times we've rejected. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times pretty much we've rejected off that major resistance here. So the fact that we're now seeing it again is or the fact that we have seen it so many times was no surprise. What was surprising, however, is when we decided to close and confirm 3 weeks ago the resistance or the price above this major resistance. We confirmed closing the weekly here, and ever since then we've been exploding to the upside up to 40 cents. I know it's small, 38 to 40, but we did peak at 43, and we are going to continue to rally up. Yes, we are overbought on most cryptos, which is why we're kind of falling sideways right now, but over the next couple of months, I am a strong believer we will see the price at some point gauge ourselves up to here, and this would be a very solid low buy. 38 cents is quite low when you compare that to the possibility of a 55 to 75 cents retest, and that's where I expect this price to move to. When you take a percentage growth, that's about 100%, 95% to be exact, correction to the upside or bullish run to the upside here. So long term, I am bullish on here. I don't leverage these, but I did just buy XRP to hold, and 100% gain in 6 to 8 months is plenty for me and hopefully for you guys. But we do specifically do all of our trades on BidFi, the #1 cryptocurrency leveraging exchange that I like to use here on the channel. Reason being is you can buy long, sell short, leverage trade, create stop losses, take profits. You can, they have a demo account of 100K of Monopoly money to test your skills, which means there's zero risk to sign up to the website, zero risk to trade. And when you're ready, you can use real crypto. The best part is they offer XRP, which not many exchanges offer. We do want to do some short-term leverages, but short-term, I'm really kind of iffy on the way XRP is kind of hanging out. There's a chance we could see some sort of this is so tough. There is some sort of maybe downtrend here. They're so tiny, and I don't like to trade off stuff like this, but you can see there is clearly some sort of kind of descending triangle that's forming here. As we fill in this downtrend, we are going to find out what exactly happens very soon. And this is kind of similar to the pattern we were seeing before on some of these other cryptos. I can leave it like this for right now for Ethereum here, but when you look, for XRP, when you look at Bitcoin, we have the same kind of triangles that are forming here. This is a little different. These are ascending triangles, not descending triangles here, but Bitcoin is pretty much falling stagnant, and we're about to pretty much figure out where we're going to be moving to today. But ideally, the markets are just weird. As you can see clearly shown by Ethereum here. Ethereum is showing some very interesting things. Positively, we're now seeing more of a bullish possibility here. Originally, no, because we were trading at 86 in the RSI. But since then, we've consolidated very nicely. And here we are very close to potentially breaking out. Reason being is we're no longer 86 on the RSI. We've lowered ourselves down to 62, which is huge, literally at the same price point. So we've consolidated this here. We've consolidated right back down to where we currently were. Now, we did break bearish here when we did we went from 72 down at 58. So we're very similar to that. We're at 88 and we went down to 62 in the same area here, and then we saw the break to the downside. We also had a bearish cross on the MACD at the same time we're seeing right now. So that's why I'm 50-50 kind of with the way these are trading right now, with the possibilities that we could be breaking bullish and bearish. I know that doesn't help you. Oh, you always say that up or down, but simply put, if you want to get in on a trade on Ethereum here short term, if we break through, close the daily below bottom support at 15K, then we short, or 1500, then we short. If we can close a daily above 16.5, then we buy in long with expectations of another run. Very simple. Now that we have supports, price ceilings, and price floors, to take into consideration here. Bitcoin's kind of free floating, doing some weird stuff here, I would just be patient and also kind of hang out. I'd trade more Ethereum than I would Bitcoin, just because of the way these things are forming here. And as for the S&P, the craziest, weirdest, oddest thing that's happened here, after many months since January of 2022, we finally confirmed closing above this major purple resistance here, which is shocking. With that in mind, with people saying the soft landing could have already happened here, there's a chance that this could have been it. This was a very solid run, a dump. Last year it fell all the way down to 27%. That's a solid correction, and we very much so in a bear market. Recession is, I think, lower than 30%, but we were like dancing with the devil at that point, very low here. But if that's the case, and this was the bottom, then here we are creating lower highs, which is a reversal period, and maybe we'll come back down to here. This will be another bottom, and then we can continue this pattern up. It's very possible here. It is also possible that we could break through this. I think we shouldn't. Hopefully we don't. I just think that's way too overbought again, but we have entered a new price point where we can start trading above this resistance. Ideally, we did confirm closing above here, so this is enough reason for me to buy in, and long it. We closed above here. I'm going to buy in early. That's pretty much how it is. So obviously we could still kind of fall to the downside here, but the fact that we're now outside of this downtrend here, I don't think we're going to see much lower levels here. My original thought was we'd fall down to here, we'd fall back down, and this would be our soft landing, and then we'd break out. But no, it seems like we're doing the opposite and hanging on to the moving average here, and maybe now we'll kind of just start to rally up like this. It's very possible. Shocking, but possible here. So lots of things to consider, lots of things to go over, but that's for another video. That being said, smash the like button, turn on post notifications, subscribe, and I'll see you in tomorrow's video. Peace.